Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Pastrami Nation podcast. We're all here. I'm Kevin, and joining me today is Elijah.
Hello there.
Hello. Co-founder of Pastrami Nation himself, Mr. Jason Smith.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Of course, the godfather of toys, Mr. Christian Nicorda.
Hello there. I'm just going to echo what Eli was saying.
General Grievous.
Hey, Arturo, how's it going? Nice to see you. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for checking out the show. And as always, like, subscribe, share, let a friend know about the show. It helps us out so much, and we really, really appreciate it. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Oscars aftermath. We're going to talk about, basically the show itself and what we thought of the winners of the evening. I'm going to talk about some Scream 7 news and some fairly sad news for the Batman 2. Not horrible news, not canceled or anything. They didn't pull a Warner Brothers and say, hey, we're
Not
shelving
happening.
the whole thing. It's still coming out. It's still happening. But we'll talk about that a little bit as well. That was not too much of a shakeup. So We'll be a lot to talk about. But anyways, the Oscars, let's talk about the Oscars. The Oscars took place on Sunday night. It was a fun, actually, you know what? I have to say it's weird to say after all these years, but it was actually a really, really fun show. I think that they really, really nailed it this year. There's so much about it that I really, really loved. I loved how quickly it moved. I loved the brevity of it all. I loved that they didn't feel like they had to spread it out, for 5-6 hours, right? It was a 3.5 hour show, which isn't bad compared to some of the last Academy Awards shows, and I thought it went really well. Jimmy Kimmel did host this year. Last couple of years, they didn't really have a solid host. This year, Jimmy Kimmel came on board, and I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was great. The jokes were funny. I thought he was, Jimmy Kimmel's one of those guys who you can tell kind of rolls with the punches. So like if something doesn't work, he just moves on. Like he doesn't dwell on it too much.
Like I walked out during this bit and he even just like pulled out his phone and he was like, I just got this mean comment.
Oh yeah,
just like
that was in regards to Trump. That was
the reading.
Yeah, the reading of the Trump review of the
that was hilarious.
Oscars during the Oscars. But there were some wonderful bits throughout. I thought the Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger thing was amazing with the Batman and everything like that with Michael Keaton. Thought that was hilarious.
They're just like, where is he?
Yeah,
we know he's here. Where is he?
And they saw him. There's like, there he is. There he is. Like, it was just so funny, so clever. Yeah, there was a lot of. So I really, really enjoyed the show, but overall, I felt like it was boring in the sense that everything was predictable. There was no surprises except for one, which we'll talk about, which is the one I want to talk to you about, Christian, specifically, just because you've seen the movie in question. But otherwise, it was kind of a night of everyone kind of knew what was going to win. No surprises. So we're not going to rehash the whole list, of course, because there's quite a bit. But I mean, the Zone of Interest walk away with quite a few awards, specifically sound awards, which is fantastic.
I mean,
Oppenheimer. Didn't. No, I haven't seen it. Actually, Ray and Eli are going to go watch it on Sunday. We found a theater in Seattle. I got to get to a theater to see it. I know that. So I'm not going to wait till it comes to home video. That's how old we are. To streaming or whatever to watch it. So we're going to go on Sunday to go check it out in downtown Portland. Oppenheimer won Best Editing. Again, everyone kind of predicted that. Production design, Poor Things won that. I haven't seen Poor Things yet. Have any of us watched Poor Things yet?
Funny story. I was going to go check that out yesterday because the theater there's one theater out here that has it. Only 2 showings. One of them was a 10 o'clock showing. The other one's like 2:45. Well, I'm ready for the 10 o'clock one. Like la-di-da-di. Go up there to get my ticket. And they're like, yeah, we're not showing that one because there's an AC problem in that theater.
Bummer.
And I'm like, I told her, well, I don't mind no AC. It's kind of cold out here anyway. Oh no, the manager's decision just to not show that one. There is a 2:45 showing, and I'm like, I can't come back. Like,
You watch it on Hulu. It's on Hulu. You should say.
Was it on Hulu to stream?
It is
now?
on Hulu now. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just do that because I wanted
Yeah.
to go to the theater, and then
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I do want to see it in the theater
It's the
too.
best way to watch it, of course. Her John Cena was there. The John Cena bit was hilarious too. I thought that was fantastic. He was giving out the award for best costume, like with no clothes on. I thought that was great. Best makeup, right? Best makeup and hairstyling, again, Poor Things. Cinematography, of course. Hoyte van Hoytema. I mean, who else are you going to give the award to? Like, he's fantastic. He's
for Oppenheimer.
For Oppenheimer. Original score, Ludwig Göransson. Yes, he also did the Mandalorian theme song. I know that's where you know him from. He's done a lot of. It's cool to see his career and how it's developed over the years. Specifically, kind of doing a lot of stuff he does a lot of stuff for like Marvel and DC and Star Wars. Now he's kind of moving into quote unquote the big leagues when it comes to he won a freaking Oscar. So best original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall. Best documentary, Last Repair Shop, which I want to watch. I hear that's on Disney Plus, so I want to check that out. Best adapted screenplay, American Fiction. Best visual effects, one of my favorite awards of the night, Godzilla -1. When they all went up there with their Godzillas, that was incredible.
Golden one.
Yeah. They had their shoes with the Godzillas on the back. That was
well deserved.
Oh, 100%. 100%. My only disappointment is that it wasn't nominated for more. But hey, it's the first time any Godzilla movie has ever won an Academy Award, which is insane. This is the one I kind of want to talk to you about, Christian. Best animated feature.
I knew it.
Yeah. So listen. Okay, I haven't seen Boy in the Heron. I'm curious. So you know how sometimes you'll go watch a movie and maybe you're not in the right mindset or something for it because you didn't care for it, like it wasn't your cup of tea, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Would you ever give it another shot to see if there was something you missed or whatever?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, because I'm curious about that because, I've heard other people say the same thing about this movie specifically, like it wasn't great, but then they go watch it again and they're like, oh, like that's.
I'm gonna say this. I don't care. I mean, I appreciate it. It just wasn't for me. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I will say this. I don't care how many times I watch it. It's never gonna be better than Spider-Verse to me. Right. Like,
Okay.
Spider-Verse should have won. So
I was gonna say,
in my opinion.
Understandable. Right. That's what I was gonna ask. I mean, so it may not be your cup of tea or whatnot, but do you understand why? Can you see why it won? Do you think it's worthy of this award?
I think it's kind of the same thing as last year with Pinocchio. It's it's the artsy one. It's like if Miyazaki's entering, then Miyazaki's gonna get it.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Or if Studio Ghibli's entering the chat.
I also kind of feel like it was like you said, Miyazaki, of course, comes in here, but I also feel like they already know, how these things work, right? Like they're gonna give the third Spider-Man movie an Academy Award for Best Animated Film. Like that's a given, right? So they're like, I could kind of see the reasoning behind well, let's give it to someone else for now. I mean, the kind of the way of thinking, right, is because even to me, I could kind of understand the argument that Across the Spider-Verse being cut into essentially 2 movies, right? To be continued, kind of hurt its chances at this award, especially with all these other
movies that could stand alone and stand on their own.
Exactly, stand on their own.
This one is cut in half and can barely.
Which is kind of unfair, right? Because you should just judge it on what it is as what it is. But on the same token, it's I really love Across the Spider-Verse, but I already know that how part 3 is going to dictate how much I love Across the Spider-Verse, if that makes sense. Right.
I mean,
if they're going to stick the landing, if they don't stick the landing in part 3, for example, let's say they don't, then it's going to almost feel like part 2 was almost a waste, right? Because they had all this promise building up to part 3.
I have two rebuttals to that, but I'll continue.
No, even though I love Across the Spider-Verse with a passion, and I'll always love it. It's always going to be great. But I think as a whole, once I watch the third one, is going to kind of dictate how the whole, as a whole, it's gonna run, right? So it could kind of run into the issue where it's just it maybe falls off somehow or something happens. Though I do think
here's my devil's advocate.
Yeah,
two examples: The Dark Knight
But
Spider-Man 2.
Well,
both two examples of amazing sequels with horrible part 3s.
No.
Not
but
maybe horrible, but like
but part 3 of this one's going to be a continuation of the same story, right? So like the Dark Knight wasn't a to be continued,
right?
It
was literally just the third installment.
Yeah, like Spider-Man 2 was not a to be continued,
right?
So like, this one, since it was a to be continued, it's gonna be continuing the story of this one, right? So like directly. I get what you're saying, though. I completely understand that, and that makes a lot of sense. Right. But so the fact that it's just like half of a movie, essentially. And the other half's not coming for another.
Did the first Dune movie win anything?
Dune, I believe it was nominated. I believe it won like best special effects. Can you check? Can you look that up real quick?
Yeah,
Dune,
I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, just look. See it. Just put the Dune in the Academy Awards.
So,
but no, I get what you're saying, though. But that's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm still gonna love it no matter what.
That's a really good point because I didn't think of that.
Yeah, but who knows? But yeah, I mean, Boy and the Heron, I'm gonna give it a shot. To see what it's like.
Visual effects, original score, cinematography, production design, and film editing.
I think the thing with the Boy and the Heron for me, it's even though I'm not saying it's a bad movie, at all. I'm just saying it's of Studio Ghibli stuff. It's not my favorite.
Understandably so.
So like,
can I say something for incomplete animation?
Incomplete animation,
like not incomplete, but like
continuing the story. Yes. Yeah.
So in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a fight between two characters. The animators came out and said that it was only 20% completed. They weren't talking about the animation; they were talking about the full episode.
Right.
It was going to be like an hour long if they didn't cut it down.
Yeah, but actually that's kind of another good point, right? Like if you're watching a TV show, right? Like you can have a horrible season with like 2 or 3 like great episodes, but the whole season as a whole just doesn't work for you. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the same thing with the Spider-Verse saga, right? Like if the whole thing as a whole doesn't work, it can totally tank not tank. It's still going to be beautiful. It's still going to be there.
The leap of faith scene will always be amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited. Obviously, I'm excited for part 3. Jason, were you surprised by this award at all? Everyone was. I mean,
I kind of thought it wasn't going to get it because, like you said, they're not going to give it to the part 2, but they want to do everything as a whole. Kind of like, remember when Lord of the Rings, the original Lord of the Rings, like at the end, after all 3, they got the Oscar. But
exactly.
I don't feel like the third one's going to be bad because I think it's easier to translate.
It's going to either.
Yeah,
I just use it as like an example. Yeah.
With live action, you get Topher Grace and shit like that. So
Exactly. No, I hear you.
There might be a 4th one of those actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was. There's been hard rumblings. Sam Raimi has come out and said that Tobey Maguire is totally willing to come back now since they did No Way Home. He's had this rejuvenation of the character.
And they're both just like, hey, if the time's right and we're more than open to.
Which would be
the question is, would they do it at Sony or would they do it at Marvel? And then that would end up at Sony probably.
It would end up at Sony, but I think they'd have to like Sony doesn't have
Sony's track record right now is
it's horrible. Except
no offense, Eli, but I'm just saying like the last few Spider-Man movies.
Listen, the last good one was Venom.
I'm sorry about Venom too.
Not Venom 2.
Oh, I'm sorry about Venom in general.
Yeah,
all
of it.
All of it.
But their dynamic is amazing.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
Spider-Verse works though because you have Lord and Miller. Like Lord and Miller is that they need to treat Lord and Miller like they're Feige over there. I feel like they need that
like their golden goose.
Like their golden goose. That's what they need. Let's move on to Best Director, which I think everyone was stoked about this one. I mean, Christopher Nolan finally got his statue, which is insane to me. That
speech too. That was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, fantastic speech. Christopher Nolan, man, like what do you like? You can't complain about it. He deserved it. He earned it. It's been a long time coming. Did you guys check out the I'm Just Ken performance? Was freaking so good.
Oh my god,
so good. And even Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For?
I love that
beautiful. And that won for best song.
Did she win last year for best song too?
She won for the James Bond,
No Time to Die.
No Time to Die. Was that
Yeah.
last year or the year before? It
That
wasn't
was
last
might have
year.
been
Yeah.
years ago. And so
Yeah.
she's the youngest person ever to win 2 Oscars now.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
Insane.
Congratulations, Billy.
Best supporting actor. So this seems like a Mandela effect to me because I swear to everything that he won in the early 90s for Chaplin for actor. And that's, I don't know. It was in
I
my
thought
head.
he won 2.
Right?
Did he not?
He didn't. He didn't, because everyone kept on saying this was his first Oscar. And I was like, no, you're wrong. He was nominated for Chaplin. He didn't win. I looked it up too. I was so confused.
It was his third nomination, though, right? For
third nomination, yeah. But I swear he won for Chaplin. Like I was like, this is gonna be a second Oscar. Everyone kept on saying, no, it's his first Oscar. I'm like, it is his first Oscar.
I still can't believe what his second nomination was for.
What was it? Oh, Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder.
It sure as hell wasn't Iron Man 3.
He deserved it, man. I'm telling you, his Tropic Thunder was.
We need to watch
He
it.
deserved the nomination for that. Not gonna lie.
So
Like
crazy.
nowadays, Tropic Thunder wouldn't have flew with all the stuff going on.
That would never even been released.
No, I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks it would. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would. Yeah, I think people. The thing is, the kind of the a lot of people are legitimately like, there's this weird crowd that are trying to like erase that movie, right? They're like trying to, how it goes every few years, something comes up and people are like, but I think for the most part, people understand like how
Satire.
ridiculous, like how ridiculous that idea is. I do think it would, people would bitch, but I think
they're gonna bitch at anything, though,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like I watched one of the newer South Park,
Enter the Pandaverse.
South Park Enter the Pandaverse. One of the best episodes I had ever seen. Like, it's the thing about South Park, specifically this episode, people are just going to see on the surface that it's like making fun of pandering and all these like, replacing, white, quote unquote, white characters with people, characters of color or whatnot. But it's really nice. It's one of the sweetest, like they had a lot to say about it in the most positive, beautiful way, that I absolutely loved the episode. And it was hilarious too. So,
I never knew Cartman could write.
Cartman can write. Cartman can write. Best supporting actor, it was Divine Joy Randolph, which good for her for the holdovers. Her performance in the holdovers
was amazing.
Yeah, easily.
Incredible. Like, she deserved it 100%. Zone of Interest, best international feature film, which is amazing as well, which I haven't seen it yet. So this one seemed to be a very contentious category. Have Emma Stone, Best Actress. Now, of course, everyone was rooting for Lily Gladstone, which I think even Emma Stone was rooting for Lily Gladstone.
Who wasn't?
I know, everybody was.
Other actresses were.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I think, Jason, you might be the only one here who has seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I know she's incredible in it.
Yeah, definitely. But I haven't seen Poor Things. I'm sure Emma Stone is great in there too. Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's I love Emma Stone. I'm happy she won. Like, that's, I think this is her third Oscar, I think they said. And Christian, you had mentioned like how young she
Billy was. I'm gonna say this. I haven't watched Poor Things yet. I didn't watch the Oscars. I did watch her acceptance speech on TikTok, and I cried like a baby.
When she,
I texted all that to Amber, by the way. I was like, dude, A, I haven't seen it yet. B, I didn't watch Oscars 3. I cried like a baby. It was so like her reaction when they called her name, just like the overwhelming, like not ready for it, and like you can see it in her face.
I think she thought Lily was gonna win too.
Yeah, she was just chilling. She was just like, I'm not even. And then it was like, oh my god, I have to be. And like her, like, don't look at my dress. Like, it's so sweet and so cute, and like really
broke during the Ken performance.
Yeah.
How cute.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Pablo? Pablo's here.
Pablo, what's up, man? How you doing?
It was really sweet. It was really that was my favorite speech.
Pablo, better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I agree, Christian. Like, that was a very, very sweet moment. I absolutely love that. Best actor, I mean, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Well, who was it going to be? Anybody else? I mean, I really wanted Paul. I mean, Paul Giamatti would have been amazing too. I was rooting for him. Again, Holdovers was incredible. Bradley Cooper, I just felt like was trying way too hard this season to get his award. And I haven't watched Maestro. I honestly have no desire to watch Maestro.
It looks
I hate to say
boring.
that. It does. I'm all down with music and stuff like that, like especially orchestra. Like I love all that stuff, but like it just I have no. Bernstein's a fascinating character, and I would love to see a movie about him, just not this one for some reason. So yeah, best actor Killian, and of course best picture. Again, no surprise to anybody. Oppenheimer won best picture, which is fantastic. Throughout the ceremony, I was starting like I knew it wasn't going to happen because I knew Oppenheimer was going to win, but I was like, part of me was like, because Poor Thing started to like kind of pick up a lot of awards,
Yeah.
and I was like, is this going to happen? Like, part of me wanted. So I love Oppenheimer with the passion. I have not seen Poor Things, but just to add some spice and some excitement to the evening, I was like. I kind of hope Poor Things like just
that would have been crazy if it did.
Like takes it, yeah, it would have been nuts.
How do you feel about was it Al Pacino not even reading the nominees?
Well, that was all like I was reading. He actually came out with a statement today or yesterday, and he was like, "That was not my idea." The producers, because they were showing the clips throughout the night, so he was like, "That was the producers' idea." He's like, "I had no idea why, but that's what they wanted," because they showed all those clips throughout the show.
Okay, so what exactly happened? He accidentally said it before, or
before announcing the nominees.
No, yeah, he didn't even.
Like, I see Oppenheimer or something like that.
Yeah, so there was no. So basically, he cut right to the award. There was no lead up. There was no reading off the nominees. There was no nothing. He was just like came out, said his thing real quick, and the winner is Oppenheimer. But that was all part of the thing. And even, well, because I remember your mom had said something about that. And I was like, yeah, but like they have been showing the clips all night long. Like, I think that's why they did that. So they can just kind of get that out of the way. People know what's nominated and just get right to it. 10 nominees, right? Like that's like sitting there for a few minutes reading off the nominees with their little clip that they show. That's a lot of time, right, for 10 nominated movies. So they just show like the kind of the sizzle reel of each movie throughout the show, and then at the end they're just like, oh, such and such, which is easy. I do like the way they announce the actors and the actresses and stuff. They had all the
so cool.
Yeah, that was beautiful. I thought that was great. Instead of showing a clip, they were like just basically talking them up and giving them their props, cheering them on.
Like that's better than showing a clip.
Yeah, like the clips are cool. Normally every other year they'll show the clip. They'll be like, Cillian Murphy, and then it'll show like short clips of the movie, his like Oscar clip, which for him it'd be like him like standing in the rain with his serious face staring at the camera.
If I can, like, one of my favorite actors in Hollywood for the longest time is Sam Rockwell. I love that man so much.
He was,
How cool was he? And then when RDJ came up and then they just like fist bump, like no look fist bump. So cool. Like such a cool bro moment.
Yeah, dude. Like I know I was thinking like partway through when Sam Rockwell was talking, I was like, oh yeah, Iron Man 2.
Justin Hammer.
Yeah, he was what's his name? What was his name in Iron Man 2? He
Justin
was
Hammer.
Justin Hammer. He's Justin Hammer.
Oh my God.
He also came back for the voice in the What If. Remember when Justin Hammer took over the Avengers Tower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Yeah. Anyways, that was kind of our Oscars wrap up and what we thought. And let's not get into that. But let us know what you guys thought about the Oscars. Did you guys enjoy the show this year? Are you guys willing to watch next year, especially if they keep up this pace going really well, which I hope they do. So overall, I mean, what did you guys think? Would you guys, if you would give it out of a Pastrami Nation out of a 5, what would you guys give it? Jason?
I would say that's a good 4.5.
Okay.
Wasn't perfect, but it was decent. It was up there and it flowed really well.
Absolutely. Christian, what you saw of it, what would you give it?
I would, you know what? I mean, that's a little unfair because I just got to see the funner stuff. Then,
right.
But for the most part, I'd give it like a good 4 or 2.
Would you give
I think if it wasn't so predictable, but I mean, it deserved. It's like I can't be mad at the predictability because everybody that won deserved to win. So
100%. What would you give it?
a good 4. I would give it higher, but I didn't see a whole lot because I was going in and out of my room.
That's true. That's true. You were. I'm there with you guys. I'd give it about a 4.3. Just cut the even. I thought it was a really, really well done show. But like you said, Christian, like the predictability factor kind of, lowered my, excitement of it. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
I did like that the Ukrainian guy that did the foreign documentary when he goes up there and he's like, I wish I didn't have for a director to say, I wish I didn't have to make this movie. You really felt for him,
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool when Jonathan Glazer went up too, and he kind of mentioned, especially how poignant. Then he was the one who directed Zone of Interest, about Auschwitz, and then kind of like how poignant that is, considering everything that's going on. Also, there were a lot of protests going on outside that kind of slowed down. I think it all started a little bit late. It was kind of cool. Mark Ruffalo actually like addressed it while he was running on the red carpet too, so that was really cool.
I have a question for you guys before we change the topic. Who would you guys want to host next year if they were to have like one solid host again?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I want Conan. Get Conan.
I can't even. I don't even want to think about it. Conan, 100%.
Oh my God, O'Brien.
Yeah.
I personally want either Trevor Noah or Conan.
Trevor Noah would be a good host. Didn't he host it before?
He did the Grammys, didn't he?
He did the Grammys or.
I thought he did a good job at the Grammys.
I liked him at the Grammys.
Yeah. Or they could just get Joe Coy.
Oh no.
Anybody? Anything? Let's do it. No. Okay.
Not funny.
Get Adam Sandler.
Sent back in time. Conan O'Brien would be so perfect because everybody knows him too. They love him. Like
I think he's hosted before. I think it was like in the early 2000s. Conan had hosted the Oscars before, but I mean, I honestly, I think this is like Kimmel's gig, to be honest.
I mean, because he's like across the street. So
I mean, that, but he's really good at it.
Yeah,
like he's good at it. Like he knows what he's doing. So if I had to pick, I mean, it'd be like a talk show host. It'd be Conan or Jimmy Kimmel. I'll take Jimmy Kimmel again.
Every year, I always watch Guillermo at the Oscars and how he's always. I don't know if you guys watch those.
Oh yeah, I love those.
He always just gets everybody drunk and just gets to everybody.
Great.
It was so sweet. Also, Charlize Theron. If you guys watched this year, she actually posted about it on Instagram today, and she was like, "Oh, by the way, guys, I got married," and it's all the pictures of her and Guillermo. Because Guillermo, like, they took shots, and then Guillermo, he was like, "Oh my God, that made my day. That's my wife." It was so funny.
I love Guillermo.
I love Guillermo.
Arturo, yes, Trevor Noah. Yeah, Trevor Noah would be fun. I think Trevor Noah would be fun.
Person.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens next year.
Let's get a petition going.
Hopefully they keep on kind of reinventing themselves and keep on awarding movie I feel like go ahead.
I feel like they should be more open to like foreign movies for more things. Like Godzilla wasn't even nominated for like a best.
But I think that goes down to a lot of those go to the countries that actually submit these movies for their things. So but I do want to see the Academy Awards evolve more. And when you have movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once last year winning Best Picture, which was a huge deal, right? It's not normal Academy fare. Even something like Poor Things, like winning as many awards as it did, being nominated for Best Picture. And again, I haven't seen it, but from everything I've seen about it and everyone who's told me about it, it's freaking weird. Like, it's not like your typical Academy movie. Like, you can tell they're moving more in that direction.
What I kind of enjoy about it is like everybody that explains the movie to me is doing a really good job of not explaining the movie. Like, nobody wants to give it away. So like I kind of get it, but I have no fucking clue like what this movie.
I need to see that so bad.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it tomorrow night, I think, or Thursday night. So
it's just tough to find a theater out here that has it. Like, you get 2 showings if you're lucky,
Yeah, and that's what I had to do with Zone of Interest. Like, it wasn't playing anywhere around my area, so like I found one theater in downtown Portland, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna do it. Like, it's gonna be like a 20-minute, which I know it's at least luxury problems. We have a car, it's fine. It's like
I do have a better idea of what Zone of Interest is.
What's that?
Do you have a pretty good idea what Zone of Interest is going to be like?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
going
think-
in blind.
What's
Because I
that?
think there was no way for us to describe the movie without really giving you a big picture. But like,
Yeah.
I
still don't think it can prepare you for like.
yeah, I'm in that zone where like I know what to expect, but I know it's going to affect me a lot more than I think it's going to. Like I think I know what to expect until I get there and I'm watching it, and I'm kind of scared, to be honest, but I need to see it in theaters before it leaves to get the full, not just effect of it, but yeah, to get the full effect, to get the full emotional resonance. I feel like it has to be seen with all the sounds, all the noise,
Yeah.
everything going on. Like it has to be seen with all that. So, but yeah, so we'll be checking that. We'll be checking that out. On
I'm going
Sunday.
in flashbanged and blind.
Yeah.
Watch that and then go watch Sisu right after.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, then you'll feel better.
There you go. There you go. Well,
Killing Nazis, Sentinel and Wolfenstein.
exactly. So first, Elijah wanted to bring up something that sad that happened. Was it this week or last week?
We
just haven't talked
of
to-
ECC.
Yeah,
actually,
we had.
but
Oh,
they
they didn't announce it till
in
this
last week.
But a lot of people were affected by it. We haven't talked about it here on the show.
A very big animator and manga,
I think they know.
Akira Kurosawa, Toriyama.
Yeah, it passed away. He's the
Mhm.
creator of
Dragon Ball and so much other things.
Yes. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big Dragon Ball guy. I'm not
Well,
a big.
time to get into it.
Well,
Let's go.
no. So
yeah.
I'm not. But like the thing is, I know like the impact. I know who the character. Like just from being on the outside, like that's how that's how much of a show of an impact the show had on pop culture. Like I know who Goku is. Like I know who these characters are. You know what I mean? I know what they do. I've played Dragon Ball Z. Budokai is one of my favorite games of all time, to be honest. It's such a fun fighting game. And I know these characters. I've probably maybe only seen one episode just because I just haven't got into it. But that's how much of a cultural impact that show has had on the world.
It's so addicting, you know? Like,
yeah.
I used to get off of work late and that was on USA. And I started like, I had never seen it before until the Android saga. And I was like, whoa, that just hooked me, you know?
Mhm.
Like,
People in the manga community call Dragon Ball the father of the big three, and by respect, pretty much the father of all modern shonen.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that. We're gonna say
I think for a lot of us growing up, especially like in the 80s, we got exposed to like Macross and like, you know, there was a lot of what was it? Battle Planets or something that I know that was huge in Battle of the Planets. That was huge in Mexico too, because they had a like Spanish translation for it too. But like I think Dragon Ball was like for a lot of people like a good introduction to anime, like in the early 90s as like a serial anime. Because I remember going to the Philippines as a young kid, like in the early 90s, and I was like, what is this? And I wanted those action figures so bad. And I didn't see them in the States for a couple of years later. But yeah, and till this day, but I know who like Piccolo is. I know who Krillin is. I know who Goku, you know what I mean? I know what Super Saiyan is. We've all seen the meme of that kid going, I'm like actually trying to go.
It's so weird to me that like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z started when we were kids. Dragon Ball Z came out in 1989.
Yep.
I had no like I honestly didn't really. Well, I think that was obviously mainly in Japan, right? Like, and then it eventually made its way over here. But like I didn't come across it till I was in like my teens, like I don't know, 90, like you were saying, early 90s. You know, mid 90s is when I really started to pay attention and know what Dragon Ball was and Dragon Ball Z.
You guys want to know a quick little fun fact?
Sure.
He's actually said this, but Usain Bolt has said why he's so fat. He got asked in an interview why he's so fast, and he's like, I got out of school at 3. Dragon Ball started at 3:05.
Yeah, but yeah, so we just wanted to pay our respects. It's really, really sad, you know, when someone so talented and has such an impact on people passes away.
The mangaka of One Piece and Naruto has actually come out to also pay their respects last week through a heartfelt message, and it got like a lot of people crying over it because of how heartfelt it was.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. So, RIP, sir, and I hope you are doing awesome wherever you're at. I learned of Dragon Ball Z in 1999 after the Christmas break. Yeah, that's when a lot of us. I was watching Dragon Ball Z on Galavision when I was like 8 years old.
Galavision.
My little brothers too. My little brothers would watch it constantly. Like it was their favorite show for like a long time. So yeah. So let's move over into the world of Scream. Scream 7 has been one of the most rocky, we could say, productions.
That's an understatement.
Horror franchise productions in a long time. First, it loses its main star, Melissa Barrera. I think that's how you say her name. Shortly after that, Jenna Ortega cited a conflict of, not a conflict of interest, sorry, scheduling conflict, walked away from the project. Honest, humble opinion, I think she walked away in solidarity with Melissa. Good for her, 100%. I get it. That's awesome. And then we lost the new director, Christopher Landon, which I was really, really excited to see what he was going to bring to the project. He did Freaky, which was a really, really fun horror comedy that came out a few years ago with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton. So I was really excited to see what kind of blood he was going to pump into the franchise. Anyways, the project seemed dead for a while until today when Neve Campbell announced that Sidney Prescott is officially coming back. As many people know, she did not come back for Scream 6. There was a lot of budget disputes, which to me seemed utterly ridiculous. How are you going to not give your main star like all the money in the world to be in your movie? I don't get it. Anyway, she's announced that she's back. The film has a new director as well, and that director is a gentleman named Kevin Williamson. Now, not sure how many of y'all are familiar with Kevin Williamson, but Kevin Williamson is the creator of the Scream franchise. He wrote the original 3 films. He created this guy is our late teens. You have Dawson's Creek, you have The Faculty, you have Scream, you have I Know What You Did Last Summer. All these things were written by him. He even did recently The Vampire Diaries on the CW. He did The Following, which was the Kevin Bacon show on Fox. He's going to be directing this. This is his second film he's ever directed, right behind Teaching Mrs. Tingle, which I'm not sure if any of you all had the chance to watch back in the day. I actually quite enjoyed that movie. Katie Holmes, and I can't remember the actor in that film, but I remember it being a fun movie. But yeah, it's interesting to watch it kind of come all the way to the start again, right? You have Neve Campbell coming back, and you have Kevin Williamson returning to direct. So I'm very curious about it. I hope so. Part of me was it's kind of a bummer that they're just kind of going to be doing. It feels like it's going to be a retread, right? I liked the direction that the new characters were going. I liked the new direction that the franchise was going as a whole. I was going in some really cool, interesting places. I like the new characters that they introduced, but they're going back to the Sidney Prescott story, which is fine. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it because it's Scream and Sidney, so you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could find a way. I'm not saying that they will.
No, they
there's
will.
A chance.
I'm sure they will. There hasn't been a Scream movie that's been bad. There's some that have been not as good. If you like the Scream
3 and 4.
I mean, 4 was great. I thought 4 was fantastic. 3 I didn't care for as much, but I wouldn't call it.
I just didn't like Courtney Cox's hair.
Yeah. Courtney Cox, we were watching Scream 2 this past Halloween, and I'm like, man, Scream 2 was prime Courtney Cox. She was her hair was perfect, everything. She was amazing in that era. She's still fantastic. I still love her.
Oh yeah,
she's great. But that was
really quickly. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
With her.
There is this old. We were talking about South Park earlier. Back in 1980, 98 or 1999, they came out with a South Park Christmas album. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh
this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But there's the dreidel song.
Bomb.
Yeah, yes. But the dreidel song, and they're singing in circles, and it ends. But was it Stansted? It's like Courtney Cox,
Yep.
I love you. You're so hot on that show.
Yeah.
God, man.
That was Mr. Hankey's Christmas classics.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Hankey, the Christmas poo.
I always think
know
of
you
that
put
when I
it
think
on
of
every year.
I love Mr. Hankey. Mr. Hankey's
We
amazing.
know you do in this household.
Yeah, you guys know I love some Mr. Hankey. But yeah, so I'm excited. We don't know exactly, we don't have a release date or anything because all this stuff's still kind of coming in. Which is kind of cool because like Christopher Landon, he was actually in line to direct listen, I know how I feel about remakes, but this one I'm actually fairly excited for if he does it right. He signed on to direct Arachnophobia, a new version of Arachnophobia. So I'm excited with his kind of background with this comedy horror kind of thing. Perfect. If you're Arachnophobia, yeah, it's just like a comedy horror. It's perfect. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what he does with that update. So I'm kind of happy it gives him time to go to do that. So that'll be exciting because he was going to do Scream 7, then he was going to move on to that. And it's also being produced by Steven Spielberg. He was handpicked by Steven Spielberg to direct it. So yeah, I mean, I have I'm high expectations for that one. So I'm hoping he gets to work on that. We get to see that come to life. So I'm very, very excited about that. So let us know what you guys think about Scream 7. Are you excited to see it? I know I am. Just let us know what you think in the comments. And like I mentioned earlier, the Batman 2 has been moved back to 2026.
Long ways.
Any other news?
I mean, it was supposed to come out in 2025.
New characters?
I think it was only a couple months. I mean, we do know that Barry Cohagen, Saltburn guy. I don't know. I don't know what his name is. I can't pronounce his name, and I'm so sorry.
I can't think of it now because now I'm thinking Copenhagen for some reason.
Copenhagen. He did say that he's coming back as Joker to some extent.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
Kyogen. There it is. Damn.
What is it?
Kyogen, isn't
Kyogen.
it?
Kyogen. Why did I think Kyogen? Kyogen. Okay.
Any news on any of the other Bat family joining?
No. I don't think there is going to be honest, with the type of movie that the Batman is.
I want one. I know it's out of order, but I want Jason Todd.
It's not going to happen.
It's got to happen. I want the Red Hood.
It's just, I mean,
you got to wait for James Gunn's DC stuff.
Yeah, but
it's starting with Damien. It's going even more out of order.
Yeah, but you put kids into this one and it's delegitimate. This is not the Batman.
I'm not saying Kid Jason. I'm saying Red Hood Jason.
But you can't do Red Hood Jason without
the tone of the movie.
That's not.
It's not going to fit in that world.
There's he doesn't have the backstory.
Perfectly.
How?
Out of all the other Bat family members, he's the most ruthless, and he's the one that gets stuff done.
But that's not what this version of Batman is.
Yeah, he doesn't appear out of thin air though, because you have to. His story has to like.
You have to show how.
Yeah, how does he come?
Because remember, that was year one. This is year.
Yeah, you can't just drop him in and skip all like the stuff
Surprise.
that made him Red Hood. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
But remember, the Joker's old alias was the Red Hood.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we have to retread the whole path of Jason Todd's backstory.
No, I know. I just don't think it would fit. I think in James Gunn DCU, I think you can still
totally be awesome in James Gunn's
100%. And I think what you can do is you don't have to introduce Jason. Like you can introduce, like they can have that backstory already, right? Like he can just come in and like who Jason. And I feel like James Gunn is smart enough to know like we know who these characters are. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to hand feed us like, oh, this is such and such person. This person needs an origin story. This person needs an origin story. I think a lot of his world is going to be just like characters just popping up. You know what I mean? In a way, like you're not really going to see their origin because you know their origin. That's what I think.
I do want to see stuff is going to be like a little bit of like Jason, because we rarely see this with superheroes, but like Jason Todd in like the webtoon Bat family comics, he has PTSD for whenever he hears like a croak, like anything metallic, like grinding or
100%, Elia. I agree with you. I think it's about time that we get the proper Bat family. I think we're finally getting it, at least in animation, with the Spider-Verse, right? We're getting the Spider-Man family, but now it's like we could just never get a Batman family. I just don't think the Robert Pattinson Batman universe is the place to do it.
True.
That's what, like your dad's saying. Like, let's see what James does with the proper DC.
Yeah.
Because I think that might be a better place.
Did you guys see the first official still of the Tron Ares?
Oh.
No.
You see the suit? My God. Like,
this
I'm in
man
love
looks
with
menacing.
this thing.
Oh, nice.
Like it just looks incredible. Like we've never seen red. Like red is like it looks incredible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And the whole plot of the movie is a virus essentially escapes into the real world, which is actually a really, really cool concept for this movie. I'm actually very excited for it. I think I really did like Tron Legacy a lot. I loved it. I thought it was great. It looked beautiful. The soundtrack alone was like, incredible. Now we can only wish that they can get Daft Punk back together for this one.
They gotta do something.
But I think the suit looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm like, I already want this as a poster just hanging up on my wall because I think he looks.
I know. I want the suit.
I want the suit. I want the suit too, for sure. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, Eli, ask him the question you asked me earlier.
If you guys got force powers, like what would you change about your life? Like what would you be?
If I had force powers?
Yes, like Star Wars force powers.
I told them
if I was Darth Sidious, what would I do?
No, not that level, but like it could, like through training, it could be, but like normal Jedi Sith level.
My automatic response to his question was, "I'd be a duck."
Which that is
because who would expect a duck to have force powers? Like I'd be the coolest duck in the galaxy. They'd be sending me in for the top secret missions. They'd be like someone wants to mess with me or a member of my family, I'm walking by them, I could just throw them with my force powers and they'd never had no idea it came from a duck.
Lightsaber, though.
If I had force powers, I would definitely be a criminal.
Yeah, I think I would not use it. Well, I don't think I would use it I would use it to get discounts at Frankensons. I'd be like,
I'd be a thief. I wouldn't be a killer. I'd be a thief. That $500
around like one of those
loaded over here.
I'd be carrying around like one of those Ronin lightsabers with the sheath from Visions and just be like,
Pastrami Nation does not endorse thievery or any other any other illegal activities.
Go to Frankenstein and say,
any opinions on this podcast are those of the.
This is purely fiction.
Yeah.
You want to sell me that?
For you got it?
Yeah. So I got actually,
dude, they had an Emerald City.
All of the variant cover.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So,
dude, they had an Emerald City one. I should have got for you.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have a couple of the actual. Man, I have all first prints on The Last Ronin because I was just buying them as they were coming out. But those are.
I have to wait for the
penny now.
Did you get the line breaker one?
I did not get the line breaker one,
dude.
Man, I know. Do you have it?
Yes,
of course.
Awesome. It's insane, like how much that thing goes for now.
Yeah, that's another thing. Last Ronin 2 has come out. The first issue is out now.
Revolution.
Check it out. I do want to check it out. I'm so very excited. What were we going to say?
I want to find a Mikey and a Donatello action figure because I have Leo. Oh, I know. I need to find a Mikey and a Raph. I have a Leo and a Donnie already. Yeah. Not from the Last Ronin, sadly. But from the 2012 series, which is my personal favorite because those guys were on Demon Time.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, guys, I think that's our show, everyone. I think we talked about some really, really fun stuff. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for for being here. And like I said, make sure to like and subscribe. That actually helps us out a lot. Share with your friends. Tell them about us. In about a week from today, there will be an audio version available on iTunes, Spotify, wherever else you listen to your podcast. So that's also a good chance to share with your friends. Listen to it on the go. Do whatever you guys want to do. Go subscribe to us on there. Yeah, go subscribe to this guy right here, Christian Nacorda. It looks like Magneto.
He's trying to stop the Jedi mind tricks.
I don't even think he can hear us. Can you hear us?
No, he can. He said that earlier.
Poquito, yeah. Anyways, that's our show. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those things at Kevin_Hoskinson or Kevin Hoskinson. Christian, where can they find you at?
You can find me on the internet. You know where to find me. Christian Nacorda. Come draw.
You know where to find him. Eli, you can't find him anywhere. Jason, Friendster.
You can find me at Napster, MySpace, and probably in and out in about 20 minutes because that sounds pretty damn good.
I hear you. I'm gonna have
Can you get me something?
I'm gonna have some cinnamon toast crunch after
Sure,
this.
I'll send it to cinnamon toast crunch. Oh my god.
That's the best.
Have you guys had those Girl Scout cookies that taste like cinnamon toast crunch?
No.
Because Girl Scouts are out and about
Yeah,
now.
they're out and about again. Yeah, dude.
They have one that looks like a shape of toast and it tastes like cinnamon toast.
When we were up at the con, they were like on the corners of streets. Best marketing.
These girls
they
are
were
geniuses.
out there.
So I don't know if they have them up there. So like at Emerald City Comic Con. What, Christian? No.
You guys are talking about Girl Scout cookies, and then you said there's a Girl Scout cookie that tastes like cinnamon toast crunch. Sorry, I didn't have my headphones on.
Jason was saying, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a piece of toast, like a bread. I forget what it's called, like toasty or something, and I had to try it. And, oh my god!
Yeah, the girls at they were set outside Comic Con, and like they were making a killing. Like you saw people walking down the street. And they also used to. I don't know if they haven't seen it this year because it was a big controversy. I think a couple years ago or last year when they were selling outside of this dispensaries.
But
like
brilliant!
I know.
God,
I'm like, these girls are freaking geniuses.
Yes.
And like they didn't get in trouble or anything. But I'm like, if that was my kid, I'd be like, yeah, get your ass over there and do that.
Oh my
Those guys
God.
always have the munchies.
Like seriously, that's like the best idea ever. Yeah.
You know how happy I would be coming out of dispensary? I'd be like, my girl.
no, dude, for real, absolutely, 100%. But yeah, and also don't forget to follow Pastrami Nation on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, all those places where we have a lot of articles. We have a lot of great articles up there right now. We got some toy action figure reviews, comic book reviews, got an Emerald City Comic Con reviews, got all kinds of stuff. Go check it out, pastramination.com. The Vita Pop Culture. It's awesome. Yeah. It's amazing.
Get to this guy as fast as I can. Really cool snake eyes.
Oh, nice.
Snake eyes. 6-scale snake eyes. A custom gun on there, but god dang, I bought it like at Frankenson's. It was $120, dude. $120 for a 6-scale figure. I paid more for Mayfix figures. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, how did I buy this? I not get Storm Shadow, so I had to go back. I literally went back later in the day, and then I had to go buy Storm Shadow too, because Storm Shadow is just so cool, and he has like that assassin vibe because he's got his hoodie.
Nice, very cool.
I haven't been in toy mode for the last like 6 months, but here I am. I'm back. How you doing?
Good.
Nice.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. All right, you guys. You have a good night. Good day whenever you listen to this. However, wherever you're at. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other, and let us know what you thought about Oscars. Let us know about all that stuff. Yeah, don't do drugs, kids. It depends what kind of drugs, but we'll talk about
recreational ones.
Yeah, just the fun ones. All right, we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.